This video is all about one of the biggest local home builders here in Kansas City. And in this video, we've got two completely different homes that showcase exactly why they have one of the biggest footprints across the metro. This second one, it's a brand new model, brilliant floor plan with one of the most impressive second levels we've ever seen on the channel. You could even say it has a third. But first, we have the Timberland Reverse by Newmark Homes. It's 4 beds, 4 baths, 2,989 square feet. It is a walkout lower level. We usually show the price right here, but we're going to talk about it in just a minute. I love all of this stone on the front, and as you approach the entry, this is the view that you'll see. Emphasis on that walkout lower level. You can see the deck. We're going to break all of that down. Floor plan, we'll put it on the screen right here. This is one of this builder, Newmark Homes. It's one of their most popular floor plans. They build it all over Kansas City, and they can build it both as a reverse, like you're gonna see in this one, and as a 1.5 story up with a second level. But this entry, it has everything you might be looking for: the transom window, the side lights. You've got a ton of light coming in here. When we get to the lower level, a lot of the recessed lights in the rec room, we're not even going to turn on. That's how bright it is down there, and you'll see what I mean momentarily. But on top of that, you do have the staircase off to the side of the entry, which gives you a little bit more volume in here. You also have the coat closet on the other side. The garage entry, it's around the corner. Again, the design of this floor plan, I think they did a really great job maximizing the space here, because as you saw in that floor plan, you got the master suite on one side, and then you've got a secondary bedroom garage entry on the other side. But like always, we're going to start with the great room here. Again, you've got this huge wall of windows here. I love that you've got the 2 layers. The deck adds a little bit more privacy back there. And what I really love about this is the design. We talk a lot about on this channel, especially at this price point, the difference between a builder's spec home and the model. And the closer the specs look to a model, generally, it's a pretty good indication the builder's providing a really good amount of value. And that's especially true with this one. But I love that you've got the vertical boards going up the side of the fireplace, the darker accent color, the floating white oak shelves. And then on top of that, we saw all of the stone on the front of the house. You've got the floor to ceiling stone fireplace, and it's not like they just stuck stone right on the wall. It's built out. It's got some substance to it, which is really, really nice. Light fixture, very tasteful. It goes really well with the vertical shiplap on both sides of the fireplace. But this kitchen, this is starting to be what we're seeing quite a bit. In the last couple of videos, we have almost seen in every single one white kitchen cabinets. A lot of the time we'll have a 2-tone look. In this one, very similar. We've got that stained hood for just a little bit of contrast. I think it looks really neat. But I am a big fan, if you've been watching these videos for a while, big fan of tasteful texture, and that's what you've got on the backsplash here. The herringbone ceramic tile, I think it's such a great look. And then on top of that, you've got the gas 5-burner range, stacked microwave oven over in the corner there, a really good sized island here with a composite sink that's undermounted. And one thing that I should add is the detail. You've got the cross beams on both sides of the kitchen island. One of the things that's really nice about this plan, if you do the 1.5 story version of it, that is notorious for the beams that you'll see. I'll put a picture on the screen so you can get an idea of what that looks like. If you were to build something like this, I think this is a really, really competitive price. We're going to get to that in a moment. But if you were to build something like this, they have a design where you've got beams all through this vaulted kitchen. It's such a nice look. Even here gives you a ton of volume, but you've got options if you do go to build. The dining area over here, again, Alex, if we pan from the right all the way over to the great room, I mean, this is a full wall of windows, which is so cool. Again, kind of the theme of this house, the way it's situated on this lot, is just tons of natural light. You got plenty of space right here, but I do want to get to the deck, because this is one of the biggest differences between this house and the second one we're going to show you. And one of the reasons we're getting all of this light why we get it all downstairs is because this is on a walkout lot. And I'll put drone footage on the screen of what that means. In Kansas City, we have 3 different types of lots most of the time. You have a flat lot, which is your standard. You're going to see that with house number 2, basements below ground. Bedrooms in the basement have egress windows. You have a daylight lot, which is kind of a hybrid between this and that, where part of the basement, usually the windows, are just above ground, but you don't have an exit in the lower level. So you're still getting light with the daylight. But here, the walkout with this floor plan, one of the most popular in Kansas City, the reverse 1.5. This is like the crown jewel. You get a full exit into the backyard, just a gentle, just the right amount of slope from the front to the back. And it means you also get this deck off of the main floor. So you can see the ceiling heights there. You got fortress rail, composite decking, like low to zero maintenance on this stuff. It's beyond the treated lumber that you have to stain every single year or so, but really a good sized lot. Now, I promised that we would break down the price of this one. And one of the reasons I had to explain all of that first is because this type of lot is generally more expensive because you do have the deck, you do have a gentle slope. Usually you're looking at a little bit more cost to prepare the lot. And then you've got everything downstairs, the patio, the windows, the doors, etc. So this type of lot is generally a little bit more expensive. But on top of all of that, this community is called Riverstone Valley. It's one of the newer ones in South Overland Park. Falls in the highly rated Blue Valley School District. So not just one of the top rated suburbs across the country, not just in Kansas City, but also one of the most sought after school districts where the median price of new construction homes tends to land somewhere around $900,000. And here we are with this home, with one of the most expensive types of lots. We're around 3,000 square feet, and this one still comes in under $770,000, which is just very impressive. We're going to talk a little bit more about the builder in this community later on in the video. Last part of the kitchen that we have not gotten to is the kitchen pantry here. You can see how deep it is. You've got plenty of shelves in there. The nice thing is that it's all hidden and it blends right in. I will say you do have the lighter engineered hardwood floors, and this is where we're getting to the garage entry. So we're going to start with this bedroom here. Again, you've just got this perfect southern exposure to the sun. That's why it's so bright. We're filming this around noon, so that's why you've got so much of that sunlight coming in. But on top of that, this could be used as a bedroom or an office. They've got it staged as an office, but if you wanted to use it as a bedroom, the nice thing is you got a decent size here. And the big one is you have a full bath right around the core. This is very tastefully done. You've got an extra wide vanity, granite top, and then I love that they went ahead and they didn't just tile the shower. You've got the shower door installed. You've got a bench back there, a comfort height toilet, which is not always the case, and then of course the light fixture and everything else. But around the corner, this is a pretty good sized boot bench, especially for this price point. This level of home, you've got all the hooks installed already. And on top of that, the cubbies. And Alex, if you get a close up, I love that you've got the light stained inside of the cubby. That's such a nice detail. Usually they just go ahead and blast those with paint as well. But we are going to head around the corner. We'll hit the master bedroom, and then we will get to the lower level. But again, just like you saw in the beginning of the video, we've got the entry to the left. And then like most floor plans now, especially new construction, this is one big loop with a laundry room on your left. But in the master, this is a great size. I love that they added the beams up top. I'm just a big fan of that lighter stain color. You do have carpeted floors with an upgraded pad. And then again, you've just got tons of light. But I really like the box vault here that gives you a little bit more volume and the way they laid the beams. This is something that you'll see in a lot of homes is the exposed hardware sliding barn door here, and it leads you into the master bath, which we've got some great ceiling heights in there, a ton of volume. I showed a couple clients this house when it was still under construction. It was maybe 3 months ago, so this is like raining and cold out that day. And one of the things you'll notice with new construction, if you're building or even if you're buying and just looking at a home that's, a few months out, if it's framed in and there's no drywall up, what you'll notice is once it's finished, it's gonna feel way bigger. And one of the reasons for that is because now you've got sunlight coming in, you've got drywall, paint, everything's finished, so that light has something to bounce off of, versus when you walk through a framed in home, there's nothing to reflect that light, so it ends up feeling a lot smaller. But this definitely feels a lot bigger now that it's finished. I love that you've got the freestanding tub, and I mentioned earlier, big fan of the herringbone tile floor here. And one of my favorite things is if you're gonna have a window here, privacy is important. I love that they've got the decorative glass on it as well. But to the left, this is I like this set. I really am a fan of the tower in the middle, but let me know in the comments below, because about 50-50, sometimes people are like, no, I don't want that. I want a little bit more counter space. I think this gives you quite a bit of options and versatility right here. But let me know in the description or in the comments below, do you like the vanity with the tower, or would you rather do away with it altogether? Love the top on here. We're gonna see something downstairs that's very similar to it. And then around the corner, we have the master shower with tile all the way to the ceiling, matte black hardware, and you've got a bench in the back as well. Now, last two parts of the main floor, we've got the master closet here. Plenty of hanging space. You've got the tall ceilings. I love that they do this built in. This builder, I had a client build with them a couple years ago, and every time, and this is true with all builders in Kansas City, we'll get more specific on Newmark in a second. Anytime you build, you get to custom design the closet. So I had clients that they did a dresser, they were thinking about putting a safe upstairs in the master closet. They wanted some built-ins specifically for shoes, etc. I think this is really optimized for the space there. And then finally, we have the laundry room with your classic built-in hanging rod and tile floor. But before we go down to the lower level, we got to break down this builder. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, they are one of the biggest local home builders here in Kansas City. That's an important distinction, because if you look up some of the biggest builders in Kansas City, what you'll notice is a big shift happening, which is a lot of regional and national builders are entering our market for the first time in years. And the reason I say that is because for the longest time, they haven't been able to compete. We have hundreds of local builders. A lot of national builders left in the early 2000s, the 2008s, etc. And now they're starting to re-enter. This is a theme that's happening across the Midwest as a whole. And the big reason why is because we have a massive housing shortage. And a lot of national larger builders, they're going after some of the lowest price points, like the 300s, 400s, sometimes the 500s, but really not above that. And one of the big reasons why is because we have so many local home builders that dominate this type of price point. And Newmark is one of those builders. Has a really big footprint. Their homes are always very consistent. Just like you're gonna see in a moment, we're gonna show you a model. The finishes in this spec home that's not a model are very comparable, which is a really good sign that this builder is including a lot for their standard pricing. On top of that, I do want to mention the stats behind this builder. So I looked them up. I looked up their sales in the last 365 days. They've built around 64 homes. So when I say one of the biggest local builders, that's a pretty high number for many builders here in Kansas City that are not national or regional builders. Lowest price point is around the mid 400s. Those are twin villas out in Basehor, Kansas. Their highest price point is around 1.2 million, which is in South Overland Park. But their median price, the most amount of homes that they sell, they're falling right around the 700,000s. Because we're in the Blue Valley School District, we're a little higher than that in this specific one. But even this, like we mentioned earlier, is very competitive for this area and new construction homes in this school district. I'm gonna put the floor plan for the lower level on the screen right here. And what you'll notice, you've got higher tread carpet all the way down the stairs. I love the lighter stain color. And actually, I'm gonna turn off these lights. If you get a shot of the, yeah, we're just gonna leave them off, because I wanna showcase the function and the benefit of having the lower level walkout. I mean, this is incredible. You've got so much light coming in here. In addition to the main level where you had that wall of windows, you've got a very similar setup right here. I will put that same drone clip on the screen, and we're just a little lower with the drone with this version of it. But you can see you've got this patio. It's covered by the deck above. This is one of the most functional types of lots that you could build a reverse floor plan like this on. And that's why most people who reach out, they're looking to build a reverse. This is the type of lot they're looking for most of the time. But any questions buying, building a new construction home in Kansas City? There are so many factors that go into choosing the right builder, the right lot, whether you buy, whether you build, how you negotiate something like this, because it's completely different from buying a pre-existing home, and how you keep the costs in check, because oftentimes they can spiral very, very quickly. Licensed real estate agent here in Kansas and Missouri. I'd love to set you up for success, so feel free to give me a phone call, text message, email, and I'd love to find the right home, the right builder, and the right plan for you. But in addition to all of that, we talked about the price quite a bit. I was really happy to see that they went ahead and installed the walk-up bar in this one. Sometimes at lower price points with reverses, you won't see this. I think they did a great job. You've got the built-ins on either side, the larger floating shelves, and the glass cabinet doors. But one thing that just takes it up and over the top is you've got the beverage cooler installed. Usually you'll see this with the model home. Them doing this with a spec home included in the price is just very, very impressive. And then finally, we're gonna go a little quicker through this. This is a 4-bedroom house. 2 of those bedrooms are down here. And we mentioned upstairs the separation between the master and the guest bedroom, very similar here as well. But again, you can see the big value of that walkout lot, having these windows in the lower level above ground. You've got a great size closet back here. And then in the bathroom, you can see the extra wide vanity. Now, they did do the plastic, the fiberglass tub inserts there and the shower inserts. I'm usually not a big fan of those, but in this case, with this house and how competitively it's priced, that is easily something that I can look past because of all the value they did include in here. Plus, it's not the end of the world to have that changed to tile if you really want to. But this is the final bedroom. Again, you've got the full bath, so 2 full bathrooms down here, and the final bedroom again with those windows and natural light beaming through. But that is all for house number 1. And before we break down house number 2, we've got to get to the community. I mentioned it a couple of times. This one is called Riverstone Valley. It's one of the newest communities here in South Overland Park, and there are an onslaught of different communities that we have covered that are coming up in the next year or two. This one is the furthest along. They have a brand new model row. Some of these homes might look just a little familiar from the last couple of weeks, but on top of that, they have inventory. They have homes that are complete, like you just saw. They also have homes that are under construction and a dozen of lots to choose from. I'm going to put the plat map on the screen right here. They've got a future phase of estate-sized homes that are just gorgeous. And that is what you're seeing in the drone footage. But right now, the prices are between the 700s. You just saw the least expensive homes in this community. They go up to $900,000 or more. On top of that, you've got some of the best builders, including Newmark Homes. You've also got J.S. Robinson Fine Homes, who we featured a couple weeks back, Lamandola Custom Homes, Hillman Home Building with a beautiful, one of the largest models here, and of course, JFE Homes as well. This community, it's just down the street from the Overland Park Arboretum, several minutes away. It's also down the street from Heritage Park. You also have a future planned amenity center, which includes a clubhouse, pool, sports court, and playground on top of that. Finally, we also mentioned this earlier in the video, Blue Valley School District. All 3 of the schools, the elementary, middle, high school, they're within 3 to 5 minutes away, with the elementary school within walking distance. But with that said, we've got house number 2. This is the Haley by Newmark Homes. It's 5 beds, 4.5 bathrooms, 3,251 square feet. It is currently a model, which is why you see the sales office instead of the garage here. And it is currently priced at $815,950. And as you're approaching the front door, this is your line of sight. And this is a really nice, you've got a ton of space. And kind of similar to house number 1, you've got that whole wall of windows right there. I will put the floor plan for this one on the screen. This is a 1.5 story up, which means you do have a 2nd story. The master is also on the main floor, but Mentioned at the beginning of the video, this upstairs, it's very unique. It's got a loft up there, and you could even say that it has not just a second level, but maybe even a second and a half or a third level up there. You'll see what I mean in a moment. This entry, it is very long, traditional. You get a lot of volume. It feels great when you walk in. One of my favorite things is you've got this curve, this subtle curve to the staircase going down to the lower level. And I love the millwork and the trim. Just adds a really nice amount of texture. You got the contrast there. And as we get to like the front entry, one thing I do want to point out, you've got the coat closet right here, garage entries around the corner, the front door, traditional setup with the side lights, the 6-light front door, and then up top you've got the transom window. This is currently staged as an office. I would probably use it that way. They've got it counted as a bedroom, and the reason why is because you have a closet right there, but this is a great setup. Casement windows, you're seeing the blinds. Usually models, typically they will go ahead and install blinds. That's why you didn't see them on house number 1. But I love the size of these. And if we turn the corner one more time, you've got these traditional French doors. One thing that I do appreciate here, a lot of the time you'll see the decorative doors off of the office. Usually they've got a glass panel, they're exposed. I like that these are nice and private. So if that is an office, it's nice and distraction free, but you can kind of see the size of that entry is just huge. And we're going to get to the great room here. If you remember house number 1, they had those beautiful vertical panels on both sides of the fireplace. Here, we've got some arches. I don't know, I've never met anybody who doesn't like a good arch. I think this is very tastefully done. Floating shelves inside. You've got the built-ins on either side. And one of the themes in this house that you'll see with the tile is the blue. And you can see this one has a little bit of texture to it. And then up top, Alex, if you get the trim, the crown molding up top, I think that's a really classy look. It goes with the whole style of this house, down to the light fixtures, the front door, etc. And of course, you've got this whole wall of almost floor to ceiling windows. One of the biggest differences between these homes is not just the type, so reverse 1.5 versus the 1.5 story, it's that this is a flat lot, which means that patio, instead of a deck, walks right out to the main level. There's a free guide down in the description. I'll walk you through some of the most important things, whether you're building a new construction home or just comparing different homes that are complete to buy. There's so many aspects to consider. That guide will make it as simple as possible. This kitchen as the second spot, you're going to see the blue. And again, I do appreciate the herringbone. It adds a nice amount of texture. It costs more to lay tile that way. And I think it's a really good look. On top of that, you've got the gold hardware here and the glass cabinet doors on the uppers. Big thank you to Alex for filming. You didn't see it because it was very smooth. He just reached all the way across the island to get a close-up here, and I thought that was a great touch. But you can see the gold faucet, the matching air switch there, and I really like this perimeter along the side with the lighter stain color. You've got the blue herringbone tile, floating shelves, and then the stacked microwave and oven on the far left. And then one of the most popular parts of this plan, it's got to be the oversized pantry around the corner. It's extra deep. You've got all the shelving there. And as we turn around, you can see one of my favorite things. You've got the prep top, even the gold faucet. I love this touch with the window overlooking the side yard and the double oven, which comes in very handy. On top of that, you've got extra pantry or linen space. One thing that I do want to point out, the stairs going upstairs, they are right here. So there's a lot of separation between this and the master, which is on the other side of the plan. The garage entry, it's just straight ahead to the left. We'll get to that in a moment. But we've got to get to the dining room here. This is a great space. You've got all the light coming in. This is a pretty good size for staging furniture for a dining room table. It is a little bit higher than most, so just keep that in mind. But they've even got space for the breakfast bar along the back. Now, we'll give you a drone shot of the outside of the house. The biggest difference between house number one and house number two is not just the floor plan. Is that house number two, you had the deck. Or house number one, you had the deck. It was a walkout lot. You had the lower level patio. This one being a flat lot means you've got a patio. It walks right out to the backyard. I love the bay window along the master, which is exactly what we're going to get to here in a moment. And then after you walk right in, this is the garage entry. So on the left, you have a half bath. On the right, you've got the boot bench with plenty of cubbies. The hooks are installed. You can see the finishes in the bathroom right here. And then we would show you the garage, but it's currently the sales office. And then when this goes on the market, they convert everything back in case you see those in other communities. But as we make our way around the corner, very similar to house number, you can see a lot of the similarities in these plans. This is one big loop around, laundry room's on your left side, but coming into the master bedroom, this is such a nice look. It's got a great feel to it. And the box vault with the shiplap, the gold light fixture. And then again, we mentioned that bay window here, just the perfect bump out. You could easily fit 2 chairs, coffee table in the middle, add a whole seating area there. The way that they've done this, you can see a good sized bed, you've got the dresser up front. So a lot of versatility with the size of this one. But heading to the bathroom, this is another similarity. You saw those tall ceilings in house number one. You've got very similar layout here with the height. I love what they did, the freestanding tub. You've got this very subtle herringbone tile going up, the 2 frosted decorative glass windows there. And to top all of that off, every master closet usually will have a full height mirror. This one is actually in the bathroom. I think that's a very clever spot for it. You'll see why once we get to the closet. But this is a great look, the dark tile contrasted with a light stain. And then I love the mirrors. And around the corner, we have the master shower with a nice tile. It's got some great movement and veining in it. And then of course you've got the bench along the back, the water closet just outside, and then you've got the master closet straight ahead. The final thing on this main floor is the laundry room. I love that you've got the prep top here. If you were to build this, yes, you could easily fit a sink right here. Some people like it, some people would prefer the prep top. But we are going to fast forward to the second level, the floor plan. We're going to put it on the screen right here. This is one of those houses, one of those plans, where once you get up there, it feels a lot different than it looks on the plan. So just beware. The staircase, we've got a landing halfway up. Big window bringing in light, the high tread carpet going up the steps. And once you see this, you're like, okay, yeah, we saw loft on the floor plan. This is a little bit of a loft space, but you turn the corner and this is huge. It is almost as big as the great room downstairs. And they've got this space, but also 3 bedrooms. And one of those bedrooms requires a second staircase to get up. So there are 3 different staircases in this house. Fun fact. We're going to show you what that looks like in a moment, but just take a second to appreciate the size of this. So if you've got kids, this is their totally separate living space from the great room downstairs. If you've got guests over, this is a great space. And if you finish the basement, you've just got many different options on top of that. We're going to save this for a moment. We're going to get to the 2 bedrooms on the second level. But before we get to that, every house this big, this is a big thing that we're starting to see. It's a high demand item. It's the laundry closet on the second level, so you don't have to go up and down the stairs with clothes. You've got the drain in the floor, the hanging space. You can see they've got some staging furniture in there. But moving past that, we've got our bedroom number 3 in the house, because we had 2 downstairs. Pretty good size, great ceiling heights. Usually we've only got 8-foot tall ceilings. Here we're about 9 feet. You got the window, walk-in closet, and then every single one of these bedrooms upstairs has their own private bathroom, which is not the most common thing to see. Usually we've got some sort of Hollywood or Jack and Jill bathroom. This one is pretty big as well. Might have a little bit more depth to it. And then around the corner, you'll see one of the largest vanities in a secondary bathroom. That is actually just huge. It's wall to wall. And the closet, you're going straight back to the toilets, the shower there, and then you've got the closet just around the corner. But we are going to cut to our final bedroom and our final staircase. We had 3 in this house. I think this is just so impressive. In case you're not familiar with this, there is a limit to how high, how tall a house can be. I don't know how high up we are right here, but this is still impressive. You got the full 8-foot ceilings here. You had 9 foot down on the second level, but this is a great space. I love the separation between this, the loft downstairs, and the other 2 bedrooms. On the second floor, you've got the good sized walk-in closet. Again, we mentioned you've got a private bath for every single bedroom upstairs. Now, in this video, you saw a reverse 1.5 story. You also saw a 1.5 story up. The only type of floor plan we didn't cover here is a 2-story home. And before I tell you where you can find that, any questions buying, building a new construction home in Kansas City, there are so many different builders, communities, floor plans, the costs, they can spiral very quickly or be reined in. And I'd love to make sure you've got all of the options in front of you, whether you're buying or building from the ground up. So feel free to give me a phone call, text message, email. We'll set you up for success. Big thank you to the on-site agents, Carrie, as well as Jenny. Also big thank you to Newmark Homes. I love seeing their work. Again, the difference between the model and the spec, I think they're very both competitively priced, great plans. If you want to see a 2-story, go ahead and click right here. If you want to see our other videos we've made right here, Riverstone Valley, you can click on this playlist here. So click there or here, and we'll see you on the other side.